Trani here in the TMC newsroom. Thanks for watching us today. We are in our headquarters in Norwalk, Connecticut, and on our program today is Michael Boucher. He's the CEO of Fiber Media Group, and Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Very nice to be here.
Pleasure to have you, and I thought we'd start by discussing a little bit about what your organization does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Fiber Media Group is a data center services company with emphasis on the services element. That's where we're very different from many of our competitors. What we really do, very simply, is we are a digital warehouse for companies to host their computer systems. And they can do it either by simply renting space in our facility and having the benefit of very good connectivity, a lot of power that you need to run these computer systems, as well as redundancy, so that in case of an emergency and power goes down or connectivity goes down, they don't go down. That's at the core. The services element is very important, which is businesses today are struggling with really understanding how the digital age is impacting them and how the developments in IT follow that. So they have IT systems in-house. Many of them have identified an opportunity to outsource it to companies like us so that it's in a more secure, more redundant place. But then there's also the element of these IT systems going virtual. Call it the cloud. And so in a cloud environment, we manage their IT systems. In a what we call co-location model, they simply rent space in our facility and we provide them the key ingredients to run their IT. We are very strong in the New York area. We're the second largest provider in the New York area, and therefore our key focus is on industrial verticals, where we've developed significant expertise and have great customers to talk about. Our biggest vertical is media. The second one is financial services, and the third one is healthcare.
That's great for New York, right? Those are
It's great for New York and it's great for us. And New York is such a melting pot of competency that it continuously attracts good people, and in turn you've got a lot of innovation and from small companies spinning out of bigger companies to bigger companies really redefining how they do business.
So the cloud movement has been tremendous over the last few years. I imagine that that's been a tremendous boost to your business as well. Just so many companies offloading their information to providers that could actually be hosting in some of your centers. Is that correct?
That's correct. The cloud has really two elements of business opportunity for us. One is when you take a Facebook application, for example, and the growth in social media. All that information has a lot of content in it, photos, videos, a lot of interaction. So you need to run that on more and more and more infrastructure, computer infrastructure. So our co-location business grows because companies like that continuously create more content that has to be more effectively managed. So that has really boosted our co-location business. On the other hand, they make a decision to say, look, some of those things are not core competency to us. We run a social network. You guys run computers. We'll outsource a part of the infrastructure to you fully. And that's really what the other part of cloud computing is, so that we become really their partner to deliver everything from buying the equipment to uploading the applications and managing those. They still write the content. They still do all the special things they need to do to be most impactful to their customers, but in the background, we run that.
So in terms of your data center locations, you do have a number of them, right, around the country?
Yes, so we have today 6 locations. As I mentioned to you earlier, we've got 5 in New York. And the reason we have so many in New York is not only because it's a big market, but the needs of our customers are very different.
Now, when you say in New York, you're New York State,
No,
basically?
I'm sorry, in the tri-state area.
Okay.
So the greater New York area. So I'll give you 3 examples of the 5. There's a data center in Manhattan. That's right down off Broad Street, off the exchange on Broad Street. A lot of financial services customers. They just want to be close. So their IT guys come over. They do what they need to do, and that's a good business. They need that proximity. Some of them say, well, we really don't want to be in Manhattan, and we want to take advantage of some of the power cost advantages you have of not being in Manhattan. So they come to Secaucus, right?
Sure.
And that's just off Manhattan, right, in
Sure.
New Jersey. Great center for us. New Jersey, great place to do business. Another need that our customers have is they're saying, well, that's all good, but if something really bad happens, and again, we're talking about disaster scenarios, they don't want their computer systems ever to go down. The next thing they'll do is they'll say, give me a place where I can take my entire business and move it to in case something bad happens. So they will say, we'll go to Westchester, where we have a facility in Chappaqua. It's reachable by train from Grand Central. I can drive a couple of highways, take you up there, and I can move my entire systems, but also my people, over there quickly and continue my business.
Right.
And then if they say, look, that's all good, but I really also want to have a regional recovery opportunity, we have a center in Cleveland. And Cleveland is the only center we have out of the New York tri-state area. And our customers there are usually either customers from New York who say, all right, let me be in an area where, I know that if the worst comes to worst, I still am replicating with geographic diversity.
Sure.
Or you have customers there that clearly are, have their businesses in the Cleveland region.
Sure.
And we take
And it's relatively safe in terms of, you don't have many natural disasters. Maybe you
That's
have,
right.
at worst, you might have tornadoes, I think, right? You don't have hurricanes there. You
No.
don't have earthquakes that often.
You don't have hurricanes, you don't have earthquakes, flood prone. And there's a lot of good data available for you to make those assessments as a customer. But it's a very sound city to do business in.
So what trends are you seeing?
What trends are we seeing? I think we're seeing many trends. The big challenge for us, honestly, Rich, is to make sense out of these trends and keep focused. There's a big trend of general outsourcing. People say, look, our core competency is running retail stores, right? And we have a great online presence, online store, and we sell a lot through our online store. And you guys really need to take care of IT. And it's so critical to us because our online store can't go down, so do that. That still continues to be the biggest trend, and it's always important to begin there because if Gartner data supports this, that almost 80% of the entire data center market today is still within companies. So they run their own computer systems, only 20% is outsourced. And we're seeing that 20% grow very rapidly. That used to be 10% not even 5 years ago.
Sure.
So that's the fundamental big shift. Then within that shift, the big trend is cloud computing.
Sure.
Right? And cloud computing just goes into many ways. It's just a smarter way of managing IT. So we deliver to our customers the ability to do that. The third big trend, I think, is still around, we're a global business. IT for us is information. Information, we differentiate our business and are successful because of information. We need information to make better decisions. So information becomes so powerful that their entire view of how important it is to have that information safe, secure, and distributed is very important. So that plays into our field too. Where we see the biggest trend is that everyone understands that. Everyone has done part of that. Now it's a understand why within our industry things may be different. So compliance requirements, very important in banking, very important in healthcare. How safe is consumer data, right, on the credit card side? How safe are healthcare records, right? And so we follow very stringent requirements there. So there's a verticalization going on. We have 3 verticals: healthcare, media, financial services. We focus on that, understanding those requirements very well. The other trend you'll see is general customer service. And that's really where we are making an impact in the marketplace. Customers come to you because they have a lot of things on their plate. They have problems they need to solve. And they really want to understand that there's someone who, on the other end, is reliable.
Sure.
And it, as apparent as that may seem, you need to convince them that they have access to their critical information when they need it, that in an emergency case, not only is your facility hold up, but there's an actual person they can call. And that you create a relationship around, you know, what is their baby. Sure. It's one of their children, and they guard those children. And our ability to not just be a vendor that signs a deal, then, okay, here's the key to the data center and to your cage, and go in and do whatever you need to do. But to say, look, what are you running in there? Do you really want to run those systems in there? How can we help you, with tape backups? How can we help you with, your ability to offload some of data that you don't need access to every day, like old email, in a much cheaper way. So we become a consultative partner to them, and that's really where our company is going. It is, yes, in the verticals, we understand those better. Now let's talk about how you can optimize how you run this IT asset. And that's a long path for us. We've just started to refine our proposition around that, but we're getting tremendous feedback from our customers.
So reliability, service, assistance with compliance, those are some of the differentiators. And you've actually talked about a whole bunch of differentiators. Are there any other differentiators? And if you've already touched on all of them, in case I'm asking you a question that you've already answered, maybe you could just give us an elevator pitch just as to why a potential customer should come to your organization as opposed to a competitor.
Sure. I think that there are 2 things I would absolutely highlight here. Is one, we are, in New York, the king of the crop in terms of customizing to what the customer needs. Location is really important, and then the specifics of these facilities. So if you're in the New York business, if you're in those 3 verticals, we can serve you better than anyone else. 2 is we take service seriously. We have got an extraordinarily customer portal, so they can get information to what they need 24/7. We have highly trained engineers, technicians, and even salespeople on the staff who continuously provide feedback to the customer that they need. And those customers, therefore, grow with us aggressively.
Right.
So, that's really what differentiates us from some larger players. I won't name their names, but you will know them. They're in the public domain, many of them, who are they run excellent data centers, but they don't provide that service. So
Understood.
A mid-market company is better off coming to us. For larger requirements, we will not be the cheapest, and they may choose to go to some of our bigger competitors, and that's great. I think that's what they should be doing.
Thank you so much for being here, Michael.
Great.
This was great.
Great to meet you.